Hi everybody, it's me again, Elisa. Today we'll be talking about Jessica Jones, also known as Jessica Campbell, when she was a child. Talking about her childhood, she actually got into a tragic car accident that not only took her parents' life, but also left her in a coma. From there, when she woke up, she was put into up for adoption, and the Jones family actually picked her up and took her home with them. That's making her Jessica Jones that time. In her adult life, she became a superhero briefly in the comic books, but in the live-action Netflix original, she actually just jumps right into the private investigator world, and her business is called Alias, as private investigations. Sorry. And what she does is just does PI work. And today we're going to actually talk about private investigators. Here at Geek Peak, we have a guest speaker. Her name is Liz, and she's pretty cool. So let's actually dive into the world of private investigations.
I got into this career by, I have a friend that was working on the Gulf oil spill, and she needed extra hands to do, and she would give us a case, and we would go through the documentation and determine what was fraudulent and what was real, because there were a lot of fraudulent claims coming through from that case. One was that somebody wrecked a boat up in Washington State and decided to put in a claim to BP, right? So she liked the work that I did and paid for me to go through my training. I've been a PI since 2011, I believe. How long do I plan to go on? I'm not sure. I've actually considered selling the business recently and not getting any younger, so I'm getting tired. But it's a lot of fun. So for now, I'm gonna stick with it. On a typical day, I'll go into the office, return emails, go through the mail, see if there's any checks, of course. When I have clients coming in, that's probably my favorite part of any day. I enjoy talking to people and just counseling them through and helping them with the problems that they have, whatever brought them to see me. There are a lot of different fields that people specialize in PI work. There's anything from fraud to personal protection, bomb sniffing. There's a lot. And people do specialize. My specialty happens to be domestic, which most people don't enjoy because it's emotional and it doesn't pay as well as some of the others. But that's probably my favorite field. The entirety of the job, if the case comes in, it starts out as emotional because you've got people coming in with, it's either custody-based, a divorce, just a variety of domestic things. Somebody trying to keep from having to pay too much alimony, and so. But once the case starts, it can go on anywhere from a day or two to a week or two or longer, depending on the nature of it and what we're trying to prove. If it's an alimony case, it has to go on for usually a year, and we'll check every month for that year to determine if the former spouse is indeed in a relationship where they're living with somebody else. Being a PI, I've always described as being the most exciting, boring job I've ever had, because you might sit outside somebody's house doing surveillance for 2 weeks and not see a thing, and then finally that door opens and the person that you're looking for walks out and you've got it, and it's a home run, and that's the exciting part. It makes it all worth waiting for. I do take a lot of work home with me. I do a lot of work from home. Sometimes I don't always go into the office. I do think about cases while I'm at home, but that's okay because my kids are grown and I don't have, that much else going on in my life. But I do spend, find time to go on vacations and visit with family and friends. The number one thing you have to have to be successful as a PI is common sense and intuition and a camera, a good camera. I think that those three things, and you can do the job. To get into this line of work, the Department of Criminal Justice Service has to license you, and they have a list of places in the state that they've approved for classes. And you go, you take the class, you pass the test, you've got a license, and then you have to find somebody to employ you. And I've taken on a lot of rookie PIs and tried to help them, because that's what I was when I came on, and tried to educate them and help them get a good start in their career. One of the biggest changes that have happened in the field is that Virginia just passed a law that PIs can be independent contractors, and so somebody can go out and get a new license and work for themselves as long as they have a compliance agent, and that's good for them, and it's cheaper to hire an independent contractor because you're not paying the taxes on them, but it kind of diminishes their ability to gain expertise from somebody that's overseeing them. Specialty tools that we use in the business are, like I said, a camera. We can place trackers on vehicles as long as the person whose vehicle we're placing it on has, as long as our client has title to that vehicle. So that helps. It's not admissible in court, but it's very beneficial to us in keeping track of who it is we're following, surveilling, because it's a lot harder than you'd think it would be. So we have trackers, we have hidden cameras that we use, a lot of times we use game cameras. Most of our clients that come in the door are men, and I thought that was really a strange occurrence. There's more women that cheat than men, and that surprised me. And I've come to learn too that men are much more sensitive than women have ever given them credit for. After seeing them in this situation, they're very very hurt, and they're very sincere, and none of them want to be there. But we help them through it and get them to the other side. I can tell you stories about things that have happened, that crazy people that have come in. I get more of those than I'd like. And sometimes I'll follow them down the rabbit hole, and sometimes I don't have time to, so I just brush them off. But I've had one lady came in, and they usually just walk in. They don't call me, they don't schedule an appointment, they just come. And she came all the way from Springfield. I don't know if she'd been through every PI between here and there to have to come all this way, but she had written a book, and half of it was in the possession of a general, and she wanted me to call the Pentagon and call this general to get her manuscript back, which I wasn't going to do. And she also wanted, I had a PI in the office with me at the time, she wanted him to go back to her place with her. She had duct taped her door before she left, and had gotten a flyer from her condo association that they were going to bomb for bugs. Par for the course if you live in a condominium. And the reason that she knew that was actually a fake was because it was slipped under her door instead of mailed to her, because they've always mailed it to her in the past. And she had a water heater that she knew for sure that people were listening to her conversations through. So she wanted us to examine her water heater to see if there were any bugs in it, and just paranoid personality types. Yeah. One guy came in, and he knew that somebody was taking things from his house. One thing in particular was a thumb drive that he had a client list on. He had been to a Boy Scout camp with his relative, I don't know who it was, and thought he lost it there and nobody could find it. And he started looking under his car seats and everywhere. And then one night at home he saw lights out front. He heard a four-wheeler. And he went out to investigate that. And while he was out of the house, whoever was on the four-wheeler must have come back into his home and placed that thumb drive on the floor in his office because he walked in and found it. Yeah. Another guy had like a bank of garages, and he had people coming in and taking his garage door openers, and then he would have to rekey them all. I mean, he was putting money into this, and they were from West Virginia. The people that lived near a cabin that he had up in West Virginia, they were coming down on motorcycles and going into his locked garages and stealing his remotes.
Thank you for watching today, and don't forget to subscribe below. And welcome to the Nerddom. Thank you. Bye.